What? George Lucas produced this piece of shit? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a very special, well, I don't know if I want to call it a review. This is not a review. This is something special, something different, something new that I want to bring to my YouTube channel. I thought to myself, why not go back and look and watch movies that came out in the past, like movies that I haven't seen before. Why not watch them? Black Widow was originally supposed to come out, yesterday, but due to current events, I decided, instead of continuing on the MCU movies, I wanted to pause for a little bit and look back on Marvel and all their successes and all their failures. It opens up with Howard the Duck. He's in his apartment, and as you're looking around, there's supposed to be like funny pictures of, it's like movie posters, like one of them's like but they're all duck themed. Like one of them's like a poster of Indiana Jones. And then suddenly Howard is in his chair, and then he's flown out of his apartment, and we see like his neighbors. I cannot believe what my eyes saw, and I will never forget it. My eyes, the nudity, like there was a female duck in the bathtub, and they put like it was like a breast. It does like nudity in the first 5 to 10 minutes. And Howard gets thrown into outer space, and then he gets sent into the human world. The thing that got me confused was like the movie didn't explain how. Like he just, there's like an earthquake, and then he just gets thrown into outer space. The movie didn't explain where the earthquake came from. There's no explanation of how or why. It just suddenly there's an earthquake, and then Howard gets launched out of his apartment and into the human world. He lands into Cleveland, Ohio, where he encounters like these group of thugs trying to attack this woman who introduces herself as Beverly, and then he hilariously defeats the thugs, and then Beverly takes Howard back into his apartment. Beverly takes Howard to like a doctor appointment. Howard and Beverly meet this doctor named Phil, but it turns out Phil is not a doctor, he's a janitor. And then this guy is like the most wackiest and craziest doctor I've ever seen. Phil came out of like a cartoon. Like he's not a live action character, he's a cartoon character. Beverly tells Howard that she's performing in her own band called Cherry Bomb, and in the bar where the band is playing, the manager insults them. Howard confronts the manager, and which leads to a weird confrontation, which leads to the love scene the love/sex scene that I was hearing. Like I know a bunch of people were talking about the love scene between Beverly and Howard, and I was actually, to be honest, I was expecting like a full-on sex scene. I thought this movie was gonna go rated R. I thought this movie was gonna be rated R, and there's going to be like a duck having sex with a full-grown woman. Good thing I didn't see that, because that would be even worse than what this movie already is. The two of them are interrupted by Phil and his colleagues, who theorize and tells to both Howard and Beverly that they may be able to find a way to send Howard back into his home world by using this laser telescope machine thing. But unfortunately, the telescope thing malfunctions, and one of the doctors, Dr. Jennings, is being possessed by some creature from Howard's world known as a dark overlord. And boy, oh boy, when it comes to supervillains, you know, there's a lot of great villains out there. But this dark overlord, I get it. This movie is based on a comic book. And in the comics, characters are explaining the situation and the process that they're going with, like their transformation. I understand that. I understand what they're trying to do. But that's the comics. This is not a comic. This is a movie which a bunch of people got together and made. There's a difference between the two of them. But having this villain, the supervillain in the movie, actually saying out loud, like literally saying out loud, like the transformation, like the literal transformation that he's going through. I can feel the creature inside of me. It's transforming. I am no longer Dr. Jennings. I am the Dark Overlord. I'm sorry, not Dr. Jennings. I mean, the Dark Overlord. Beverly and Howard go to this diner, and then that's when the Dark Overlord shows off his disgusting and terrible powers, which, like, the special effects is right up there with Supergirl. I'm not talking about the TV show, I'm talking about the movie Supergirl, like the 1970s or 80s, like Helen Slater movie. It's right up there. It's atrocious to look at. The CGI for the actual Dark Overlord, oh my god, it looks like something out of a PlayStation 2 video game. Beverly is being taken by the Dark Overlord, and she's a damsel in distress, of course. And Howard is teaming up with Phil to rescue Beverly from the Dark Overlord. Rescue Beverly, they obliterate the Overlord, and they also destroy the telescope machine thing, the spectroscope. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called, which prevents more Overlords from coming to Earth, but it also prevents Howard from going back into his world. Howard becomes Beverly's manager, hires Phil to be an employee on the tour, and Howard is performing with Beverly on stage at a band, and the movie's over. The romance between Beverly and Howard, I didn't feel any of them. I felt jack shit. There was no development between the two characters. Like, I felt nothing. Why am I bothering asking these questions, these simple questions? This movie won 4. It was nominated for 7, but it won 4 Razzies. This movie also has a bunch of 1980s music. It's just what you can expect during that time. And I feel so bad for the cast of the movie. The cast are having a difficult time finding new jobs and new roles in other films and other projects. I'm gonna do something very different. Movies like Howard the Duck, they're not movies. I don't call them movies, and this is not a review. Movies like Howard the Duck are what I like to call tragedies or abominations, because that's what this movie is. Of course, Howard the Duck on my movie scale gets an F. There's no doubt about it. I hate pretty much everything about this movie, and there's not one redeeming quality. There's nothing. I'm watching this, as I was watching the movie, I'm trying to find if there was at least something decent, maybe the soundtrack, but I haven't listened to it, so I can't really form an opinion about the soundtrack. That's pretty much it. Thank you so much for taking the time and watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe, share this video with your friends and family, and I will see you in my next video.